Late one foggy night, an Uber driver named Sarah picked up a passenger in an isolated part of town. The passenger was a man in his 30s, dressed in old-fashioned clothing, with an eerie, unnatural stillness about him. Throughout the ride, he didn't utter a single word, just stared out the window with hollow eyes. As Sarah drove through the misty roads, she started feeling a chilling presence in the car. Unnerved, she decided to break the silence and ask the passenger where he was heading. No response. When she glanced back, he was gone. In the blink of an eye, he had vanished. Trembling, she pulled over and searched the car, but there was no sign of him. The next day, Sarah discovered a newspaper article about a man who had died in a car accident on the very same road years ago. His picture sent shivers down her spine. It was the same man she had picked up. Terrified, she quit driving for Uber, unable to forget the silent passenger who had never reached his destination. Tom, an Uber driver, received a ride request from a remote, desolate area on the outskirts of town. When he arrived, he found a young woman waiting by the side of the road. She seemed distressed, her clothes torn, and her eyes wide with fear. She got into the car, instructing Tom to drive fast. During the ride, the woman explained that she had escaped from a nearby house where a group of deranged individuals had held her captive. Tom sped away, trying to call the police, but his phone had no signal. As they drove, he noticed strange things, the same landmarks passing by repeatedly, the clock on his dashboard ticking backward. Panicked, he asked the woman what was happening. She revealed that they were trapped in a supernatural loop, cursed to drive endlessly through the same stretch of road. The people who had kidnapped her were part of an ancient cult, and their curse ensured that no one could leave their clutches alive. Tom and the woman tried everything to break the loop, changing directions, praying, even attempting to confront the cultists. But nothing worked. They remained trapped in the never-ending ride, with no escape from the horrors that awaited them at each turn. On a stormy night, Uber driver Mark picked up a fare from an abandoned mansion at the edge of town. The mansion had a dark history. It was rumored to be haunted by the vengeful spirit of a former owner. Ignoring the warnings, Mark drove to the mansion, where a mysterious woman entered his car. The woman was pale, her eyes hollow, and she spoke in a whispery voice. She directed Mark to an old cemetery, where she asked him to wait. As he sat in the car, he heard eerie whispers and saw ghostly figures moving among the tombstones. Suddenly, the woman returned, carrying an antique box. She begged Mark to deliver it to a specific address. Reluctantly, he agreed, thinking it was just a bizarre request. During the ride, the woman disappeared, leaving behind the box. When Mark arrived at the address, he discovered it was another abandoned house. Curiosity getting the better of him, he opened the box. Instantly, a malevolent spirit emerged, filling the air with a suffocating darkness. Mark felt an icy grip around his throat as he realized he had unleashed something unimaginable. The next day, Mark's car was found abandoned near the cemetery, with the antique box lying on the back seat. He was never seen again, and the legends of the haunted fair spread, warning Uber drivers never to pick up fares near the old mansion.